Excuse me. Hi, I'm Jack Kerouac. Exhume me. Exhume me. That's what I said to the Undertaker. Wouldn't you? You spent 50 years in a hole in the ground. Subsume me. Subsume me. That's what 2 tabs of Timothy Leary's finest did to me on the long flight from LA to Australia. 50 years in a hole in the ground. And here I am, doing a gig down under, thanks to Sean Hoffman. Anyway, I'm on that flight from LA to WA, and those 2 tabs of Timothy Leary's finest haven't calmed me down at all. Matter of fact, my eyebrow sweat has joined up with my eyelashes. I can't see a thing. I buckle in because I think I'm going to fly out of my seat. To calm myself down, I put on a black and white movie, one from my era. Pretty soon I start to realise it's not just the movie. Everyone and everything in the cabin's gone black and white too. I lean over to the newspaper next to me and say, "What's a man got to do to get a drink around here?" He says, "Receiver," and points at what looks like the telephone from my black and white movie. So just like they did in the movie, I rang 000. "Captain speaking. Hi, it's Kerouac here. I'm in 59A. I'd like a Bloody Mary and a beer chaser." And clunk. An agitated, auburn-haired airline hostess arrives. So far, so good, I thought. "Hi, I'm Jack. I'd like a Bloody Mary and a beer chaser. And I need to write an intro for a gig I'm doing in Fremantle, so I'll need a pencil, a paper and an eraser." "Hi, Mr. Kerouac. You're an economy, sir. You can have a Bloody Mary, but no beer chaser." "And no, we don't have any paper, a pencil or an eraser. I've got an idea. Will a Samsung Galaxy tablet do?" "Samsung Galaxy tablet?" I said, "Hell yeah, I'll take 2. So you want to know what was written on the Samsung Galaxy tablet? What's in the cloud, of course. And it goes like this. An empty chip packet tumbles by. A full guitar riff escapes from a basement rehearsal. A snare rim reverberates from a mistimed hit. These are the sounds of music that unify us, time immemorial. And so it is with this story, an opening scene, a story within the history of post-punk rock. Come on down my rabbit hole. There is no beginning and no ending. You will know when we're finished, because I will say, to be continued. by Nathan Bluecloud with thanks to Tom Waits for the opening. Episode 1, Frank, where it all began. Frank mailed his Western dream to his wife's forehead on the front door of their nouveau riche home at 25 Socrates Parade, North Coogee, facing the marina. Cooey Coogee, so you've foreseen the murder scene, so now you get the backstory starting in Melbourne. Frank turned 18 in 78, that very day over AM coffees. The mates were frothing for frothies. Their conversation was a great debate as to where to celebrate his first legitimate night out, a pub or a club. Unbeknown to Frank, his old man, the cat man as he was known to his mates, who taught art by day and played bass in the rockabilly band by night, had the birthday party all sorted. The Catman band anchored Thursday nights at Esky. Their rider rode the backstage esky to front of stage and into the arms of his pesky, permanently broke art students. His favourite, who could have swapped his first name for his last, went simply by the initial of his middle name, S. By pulling a few strings, offering a chord where due, the Catman arranged for S's band to play their first gig at the Espy on the Thursday night that Frank turned 18. Concisely described on the private invitation and public poster as the birthday party. The party night and day that changed everything became a job. Frank did an apprenticeship in amplify and muscle building, loving the ride on the burgeoning art scene, avoiding the bulging underbelly of the white horse, and he was able to keep fit too. A lower back injury, the reward for rescuing a teetering Marshall double stack, led to an addiction to prescribed painkillers, overcome with cultivated cannabinoids and the art of yoga, taught by Dane, an ex-pro surfer from Hawaii, who, like a lot of his contemporaries, had picked up good and bad habits in Vietnam. A good day started together at dawn on the foreshore in front of Luna Park with meditation and a salute to the sun, followed by hand-to-hand combat, jungle style. Warmed down with coffee and cake in Ackland Street, endless chatter with known passers-by, then Spinnaker Peter with Greek salad for lunch at the Galleon, all punctuated by Dane's tales from surfing's frontier. After they were done, Dane went on the nod, leaving Frank to his second daily workout, which ultimately led to a new career as that friendly but deadly bouncer. Their new shared habit was friendship, fueled by Frank's desire to be taught by to surf by Dane and to live near, no to see daily, a more lively sea than dead flat St Kilda. The scene changed, died a little. So Frank up shipmates from Fitzroy Street, St Kilda, and moved to Brunswick Street, Fitzroy, establishing his new residency by the free pool table at the Labour in Lane pub. Living the dream, 5 years ahead of the crowd, Frank taught the ladies how to play, shouting in the odd oversized bag of twisties, always served in a laminated wooden salad bowl. He was also known for his low-level cannabinoid distribution, strictly medicinal use only. Every sale came with a cautionary tale. By night there was, of course, the band business to attend to. Another decade dumped by, punctuated by a recurring dream, the Western dream, as Frank liked to call it, based on a map of the Zeitdorf Cliffs a bouncer mate had got from one William Road after a cheap nasty's gig at the Governor Broom, who got it from a bloke who was supposed to have swindled the Perth Mint. Opening of Roland S. Howard Lane to honour S's contribution to St Kilda's music scene when he has an epiphany that stopped him dead in the Ackland Street tram tracks. My rock and roll heaven is going to hell. I've got to change, but to what? Dane led a cavalcade of Harley Davidsons ridden by vets with hats, starting at Ackland Street, then down S's newly named lane, past Luna Park, finishing where it all began at the Espy for an afters party and a fundraiser. Whilst the Catman's band had a bank break, Frank helped out Dane with the auction. The highest selling item was a black and white oil painting of the words, an original oil painting by JND titled An Original Oil Painting, black and white, but then came. waved around the stage in '79. Frank waved at, then beckoned, then handed the painting to the highest bidder on the night, one Yarrow Sprinkling. Their hands touched, so their eyes met, and they watched the thank you words form on each other's lips. Frank's soul and consciousness collided. He felt his internal world change, just like that. But to what? End of episode 1. Episode 2, Yarrow and where it all began. It's still 2013, but we're in Fremantle now, and that's a whole different backstory. Yarrow Sprinkling was born in '85, 7 years after Frank's 18, a 25-year age gap. Yarrow grew up round about end of Ray Avenue on a diet of ripe meat from Frank's, rotting fruit and vegetables from Galati's, and frothy full cream milk cappuccinos served in poo brown cups from all puppers. Yarrow's parents met at Zorba Buddha restaurant the night Marananda Sheila, Queen of the Orange People, had arrived in WA. To this day, it's the only restaurant in Fremantle to serve hummus and herpes on the same plate. Soon to be known as Tough Titties, Ma Sheila sucked the entrails out of anyone she could use to rebuild Rajneesh Puram, Osho's home in Oregon, USA, into a replica in Manjimup, WA. The new ashram was to be her homage to her guru, the Bhagwan, or the Bhagwan, as he was known in Fremantle, or the Bad One, as Yarrow reflectively, perceptively saw his influence on her family life. Yarrow's father, who lost his name and identity in the Pula ashram, had trained there as a sniffer. His role was to sniff on entry anyone worthy enough to be given an audience with the Bhagwan, to ensure they weren't wearing offensive Western perfumes or deodorants. Sheila entered the uproar of the crowded restaurant, pushing past the tables, clutching and blessing the outstretched hands. Yarrow's father saw his chance. Sheila stops too, then joined their table. In his triumphant retelling, we were like two wild animals who found each other. Yarrow copied, but her was simply the sound of the abandoned child. Abandonment meant loads of free time with her first friends, the shop owners roundabout end of Ray Avenue, where Bella was considered family. Her adolescent pimples popped into a raging resentment for her perennially absent parents. When present, she regarded them as ridiculously euphoric. Their positive gift to her was the art of yoga, which led her into an extensive exploration of philosophy anchored to the rigour of repetition. Teenage years were spent as a black and white goth, predominantly indoors, rebelling against the bright light and optimism of WA's seashores. She rigorously researched the origins of goth, and in so doing, reimagined the deep resentment she harboured for not turning 18 in '78 at Punk Zenith into a deep knowledge of the movements that followed, settling on Nick the Stripper as her favourite trap video and aesthetic. An undergrad degree in sociology led to a postgrad dip in Gothic architecture, then a job in Barcelona working on Gaudi's unfinished masterpiece, Sagrada Familia. Idyllic times, including a fellow graduate boyfriend from the Basque Country, which all crash-landed when she realised his life ambition was to be a junkie. So in 2013, she returned to Fremantle, feeling hung, drawn and quartered at the ripe old age of 28. Paradoxically, Yarrow then discovered WA's bright light and seashores with an optimism she'd never felt before. And over a coffee with herself round about end of Ray Avenue, decided it was time to forgive her parents too. And in that moment, she read on Facebook, there was to be an official opening of Roland S. Howard Lane to honour S's contribution to St Kilda's music tent scene. So she bought an online airline ticket without delay. car, following a cavalcade of Harley Davidsons, finishing where her research had all began, at the Espy for an afters party and a fundraiser. Whilst the Catman's band had a break, there was an auction, and to her astonishment, she was the highest bidder for a black and white oil painting, which she'd come across in her research, so she knew the singer, Nick the stripper, had waved it around the stage ironically in '79. The craggy-faced auctioneer's assistant waved at, beckoned, then handed her the painting. Their hands touched, so their eyes met, then once the few words form on each other's lips. Yaro's sub and consciousness collided. She felt her internal world change just like that. But to what? End of episode 2. Frank got Yaro's name and address from the cashier. He didn't follow up until Monday morning, which he did by going to an art shop, where he bought 17 sheets of their best quality cartridge paper, together with a matching set of a lighter weight to turn into envelopes. The heavier weight paper he cut in half, then folded in half, then measured against the envelopes, cutting snippets with a scalpel for a snug fit, sticky taping the offcuts back together to create a concertina postcard, upon which he wrote, "We met the other night when I handed you the black and white painting. Since then I've been thinking about poetry, which isn't my style. Then I found this Japanese form on the internet, haiku, which is both short and simple, so I thought I'd give it a go. A painting, our fingers, then eyes, thud, lightning!" Yaro got it all, replying on her first piece of cartridge paper. A dawn, a new day. I want to take you higher, Sly and me and you. Frank had anticipated a spiritual response. He contemplated and then wrote back. A dawn, a new day, a harmony of difference, truth of you and me. On opening. Too honest, thought Yaro, answering back bluntly. What year were you born? Who is your favourite band? Do you know about Sandy? It blinded Frank alright, but the music world was his safe territory, so he replied with a smirk. Band 78, birthday party, play party, I'd love to serve you. Yaro on reading. Suddenly, potentially no longer the abandoned child. Their love poems had carried them. 17 mysterious envelopes delivered by snail mail over 34 cautious months, then a marriage proposal. An age went by without a name or number. For the last time, Frank unfurled the map of the Zeitdorf cliffs while still living in Melbourne. He zeroed in on the X that marked the mythical treasure spot, and in so doing, moved it from deep within his subconscious to deep within his rucksack, then packed meticulously his frugal belongings around it as his plan to head west, in pursuit of his western dream, took full flight. To be continued.